Greetings, Gemini. This is your mid-monthly reading for the month of May 2017 from May 15th until May 31st. However, some of these energies, of course, are going to extend well beyond the end of the month. Welcome to my YouTube channel, One Who Sees Tarot. And this is a general reading for the sign of Gemini. And I do see some interesting energies. I have prayed over the cards and I've called on my spirit guide, and my spirit guide has never led me wrong. And so what I'm seeing in the cards is certainly accurate for many of you. Now, all the information is not going to resonate with all of you, as you know, but listen carefully, because some of this energy is certainly going to hit home for many of you. So Gemini family members, I do see where, you're coming from a place of financial stability. I do see that. I see some money that came to you, or money that was flowing nicely. And here recently, you received some bad news, or you received some news that was not so pleasant. And it's thrown you off your game a little bit. It's thrown you off your game. And in addition to that, this news that you received that threw you off your game also had it had a little bit of the tail end of it, or it could be the main part of it, had to do with money that you were expecting, or money that was you were hoping that would be offered to you, and it was denied you. We'll get some clarity about that. But because what I'm seeing in this strain, or in the way the cards are laying out, and the way the spirit guide is laying the cards out, is that Gemini, there are going to be some things that you're going to have to do in order to adjust some of these energies. So I do see where some of you have, you've undergone some kind of emotional trauma, and this emotional trauma has to do with some loss. Some of you are feeling perhaps I'm not a clinician, so I can't say clinically depressed, but some of you are feeling a little down and out of sorts, and we'll get some clarity on that. Some of you are being advised that you should not run away. You should not jump on the first thing smoking. That's the advice. That's kind of a way of saying it. And because you Gemini family members, those of you that I'm talking to, you're coming from a place of bountiful supply. You're coming from a place, you're used to having things a certain way. And so I'm seeing that some information came to you. But I also see that information that came to you that perhaps has thrown you off your game, and perhaps has cost you, or you did not receive the money that you expected, and has taken an emotional turn on you. So listen to me carefully, Gemini family members. There is some good news coming that's going to help you make this journey of life. Right now, the advice is telling me to tell you, the spirit guide is telling me to tell you that this is not the time for you to jump out there. Okay, so there's some holdup going on as far as job offers, as far as business and investment offers is concerned. I do see that. In addition, I do see where some of you are dealing with a masculine energy that you were depending on for resources, and that masculine energy has gone in a different direction. It's traveling in a different direction. So if this is you, Gemini family members, who is a masculine energy, I'll read the cards in that direction in a few moments. And for some of you who are in a relationship with a masculine energy that you were dependent on for financial support, I do see where that energy is going in a different direction. But once again, we'll get some clarity in a few moments. I do see, though, where some of you are really, you need to make some adjustments. And if you don't make the adjustments, you're going to end up in a place where you're just going to feel, you're going to carry this sour energy with you right into your future. But let's get some clarity on this, please. All right. So some of you certainly are dealing with a love that perhaps you wanted and that love did not work out for you. So I clearly see the spirit guide is clearly showing me the card that indicates love that was being offered, and or you wanted it so badly that you saw it being offered, and in fact it is not being offered. This love that you wanted was kind of like being, maybe somebody that was offering it to you was putting one foot in but not both feet. Perhaps this person was offering you something but not all of what you needed. So nonetheless, the idea is that there is some good news coming, and there is something good that is going to be offered to you that's going to put you in a better state of mind. So I do see that. In addition to it putting you in a better state of mind, it's going to give you a sense of empowerment as well. So for some of you Gemini family members who have been out of sorts, I do see a sense of empowerment coming to you, because the idea that you've been struggling hard and working hard, you're going to be in a better place in a few minutes, okay? Let's get some clarity on this. So I do see some dishonesty. I do see some dishonesty. Some of you were misled, and some of you that have been misled, you've been misled by a masculine energy. I do see a masculine energy that has misled some of you, and or the way that this is done in a general reading is that masculine energy could be you, Gemini. Could be talking to you as the masculine energy, and because someone has led you in the wrong direction, or has told you things that are not true, information that is perhaps heartbreaking, but basically it has to do with dishonesty. What I see so far in your spread is dishonesty. I do see where you're being advised as it relates to that money. So there's money that perhaps you were looking for, and that money was being denied or is going to be denied you. However, Gemini family members, the spirit guide has laid the cards out clearly, so I can see that if you just remain consistent in what you're doing. In other words, for some of you that have a job, and it's a regular job, you go to work every day, you pay your bills, you've been on a job for a while, stay there for a minute. Just sit there for a minute, because what happens is that consistency is going to pay off. And I see this in your spread, and I see that consistency is going to give you the empowerment. So this midline coming down your reading here that I'm seeing very clearly is that this idea of you being abundant, or living in an abundant lifestyle where you have adequate supply of things, has a lot to do with you being consistent. So this is, and I do see where consistency is the sort of like the opposing energy to that energy that I spoke about a few moments ago, where you're advised not to jump out there. Don't jump out there and just go forward doing something if you don't have all the information. For some of you Gemini family members, I do see where you feel as if things have not been fair to you, and I want you to know that in that lack of fairness, with that feeling, please understand that I'm looking in the future, and I'm seeing that there is going to be some justice. So with this card that is laid in front of me, the card is called the Justice card, and the card indicates balance. But this balance has something to do with fairness. So in other words, you have not been treated fairly. You have not been given good information. You've not received what you have worked for in your life so far. But I do want you to know that I do see new beginning. I do see something new, but I do see that something new and the next step or the next direction in your life, not the next direction, let me say the next step in your life, requires that you listen, requires that you go inside now. Go inside of your spiritual closet, your psychic closet, whatever you want to call it. Go inside and listen, because your next move requires a correct, intuitive response to things around you. So in other words, when you get a hunch, that's probably the right hunch. When you see something and that something that you're seeing does not appear to be, it appears to be too good to be true, that's because it is too good to be true. Follow your hunch. Follow your own intuition. Follow your own, that voice inside of you. Because what's happening is that some of you, this is not the time to rest as far as resting on your laurels or resting in a way of being emotional. No, in other words, don't rest in your sourness. Don't sit there in that spilled milk. Don't sit there in this emotion. If you feel as if you've been misled and you feel as if, you haven't been treated fairly, don't sit there and just say, oh, woe is me. Gemini family members, you're being advised by my spirit guide through these tarot cards that this is not the time to rest. Battle is not over. It's not over yet. You have some stuff to do. Okay, let's talk further about this jumping into something. For some of you Gemini family members, I see a masculine energy that has gone in a different direction. That masculine energy, particularly this masculine energy that I'm speaking about, has to do with physical. This person is physically attractive. This person is physically appealing. How shall I say it? This person is sexy. This person has sex appeal. This person has been a turn on for you. But the idea that this energy is going in a different direction is something that you have to accept. Because what's happening is that you're going to move forward with your life, and there's going to be some changes in your life. But a lot of your changes have to do with you being self-actualized and fulfilled. And once again, this card is showing up in your reading as it has in other readings. But this card is a good card for advice. This card is saying go back to school, get some further training, read some more, study some more, take a webinar, attend a seminar, take an online course. This stuff that I'm telling you to do, the spirit guide is showing me that this stuff, this further training stuff, has a lot to do with your earning potential. Because what's happening is that you're looking at some situations that you want as far as professional advancement, and some of it has to do with you getting further training, because I do see where there's a denial, for you moving forward as far as some things. But I mean, hey, you need to be trained, because we live in a very competitive world. All right, Gemini family members, I do see for some of you that there is clearly a transition that you're going to have to go through. And this transition that you're going to have to go through has to do with letting something end, letting something go. And that has shown up in several places in your spread, the idea of moving on with your life. This is not a time to sit there and woe is me. This is a time to move forward. This is a time for you to let something go and move forward, because right now you can't move forward with your life. You can't move forward with you can't drag that weight into your future steps. You can't drag that weight into your future steps. You can't drag that negative energy where you want to go. And what's happening is that you're not getting up and making something happen. And that's what's important right now for some of you Geminis. You have to get up from where you're sitting and make something happen. And you're going to have to move forward as opposed to moving backwards. You're going to have to allow a forward moving energy as opposed to a backwards moving energy. This is important for you to interpret it as to how it relates to your life, Gemini family members. But I do see where if you don't do something, and if you don't make that next move for yourself, then I do see that things are going to remain out of control. I mean, things are going to go in a sour direction until you become positive. This is not the time for some of you Gemini family members. This is not the time for you to stay in your emotional space, if you will. It's not a time to stay in your cave. It's a time for you to network. It's a time for you to get out there. Put yourself out there now. It doesn't mean jump out there on some type of a bandwagon, some kind of a get-rich-quick scheme. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying with this emotional baggage, with this pain that you're carrying, it's time for you to step out there and mingle with the public. A little bit of networking, a little bit of socializing is good for you, and it's going to be good for your future. Gemini family members, I do see where some of you are dealing with or are going to be dealing with a legal matter. That legal matter is either legal, official, governmental. It's either something to do with school or the courts or some type of a government office. Well, whatever this situation is, and you'll know what it is for your particular dynamics of your life, the advice that the Spirit Guide is showing me to tell you is that you need to dot your I's and cross your T's, Gemini family members. This is not the time. Your case is not as strong as it needs to be. But when I do these readings, I always give the caveat, or I always give the encouragement, not a caveat, it's really the encouragement to say that although you might be in a situation right now where your case is not strong, you need to go back and look at your case, review your case, check yourself out, check out your evidence, check out what you are presenting, make sure that it is accurate, and then perhaps in the future things might turn around for you and might bring you to a place where of smooth victory. But I do see though, and I'm encouraged to tell you this because I do see the card that indicates happiness and victory. So I am accurate in what I'm saying to you, that get out there and network, number one. Number two, this legal official matter, look into the details of it and get it right. And I do see you coming to a place of happiness, and I'm happy to see that card because I didn't want to end your reading on a sour note. I want you to know that, yeah, you know, you're gonna have to, there's some stuff going on in the universe you're gonna have to deal with, and there's some stuff that is out of your control. Let me talk specifically to those of you Gemini family members who are looking for a feminine complementary energy. That feminine energy, she's beautiful, she's wonderful, she's attractive, she's a lot of good stuff, she's really, really nice, and I see her in your future position. I see her coming. I see her coming to you. I see her emerging. However, to get to where she is, or to get to this particular energy, you are going to have to let some things fall into place. Some things you can't rush, and some things you can't push, because right now she's dealing with some stuff. She's dealing with some stuff, and so let her go through her little transition as well as you're going through your little transition. Both of you have been misled as far as information, as far as things being told to you. You know, someone is selling you a bill of goods and it's not really accurate. So both of you are going through this little transition period. Allow this transformation to take place. So deal with what you consider to be negative, because that rain that is falling is going to bring you some beautiful flowers. Gemini family members, if you'd like to reach out to me, if some of this stuff resonates with you, and if you'd like some clarity, a 30 or 40-minute private reading, or if you just like a spiritual consultation about a particular matter, or if you'd like for me to pray for you, which is what I do all day and all night. I'm constantly praying for clients. So if you'd like for me to communicate with you about your particular situation, reach out to me through my email at onewhosees4you@yahoo.com. That 4 is a numeral, so it's onewhosees4you@yahoo.com. Once again, this has been your general reading for those of you born in the sign of Gemini. Gemini family members, I look forward to talking with you again as we get closer to June, or as you email me. Thank you very much for your trust.